Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Pulsar X2H CrazyLight Mini. This was sent out to me by Pulsar, but it will not change my thoughts or opinions on the review, so let's get into it. So first off, we have the box. It's a regular standard box, but inside the box, you'll get a white braided cable. You'll get a really cool, clear, transparent dongle, and then you'll get some other stuff like an extra set of dot skates, a sticker, and the trading card, which I find really cool. But let's get into the specs of the mouse. So this is a 3950 XS1 sensor. This is just Pulsar's implementation of the 3950. This mouse does support up to 8K polling and 32,000 DPI. Let's get into the weight. So the advertised weight is 37 plus 1 with dots, and I think 39 plus 1 with full skates. My unit on the scale came in at 41 grams with full skates. My scale could have been a gram off. It could be right, and then it came out with 39 grams with dots, but it's about as advertised. So let's get into the shape. So this is the X2H mini shape. They might release an X2H CrazyLight medium because they've been really putting an emphasis that this is a mini, and when the original CrazyLight came out, they didn't do that, and they just released a CrazyLight X2 medium. So I think a medium will probably come eventually, but I just want to compare this to the regular X2H medium size. I don't know how well you can see, but it's just a shorter version. The hump doesn't go as tall, and in hand, it feels a lot better than the X2H. It doesn't feel like as crazy of a hump, but it still has that hump support, and it fits really well in my hand. I have I think 19 by 9 hands or so. I might be getting that wrong, but it feels really good with a relaxed claw. You can also do aggressive claw. You can probably palm this, but it'll probably be a little too short, and also, I wouldn't recommend fingertipping it because if the hump comes out a lot, it just doesn't feel comfortable. If you do want a fingertip mouse, I'd go for the X2 CrazyLight because I also think that's like a gram or two lighter anyway. But I also want to compare it to my favorite shape, the Vaxee Sora, and I actually prefer the X2H CrazyLight over it because the X2H Sora was always the Vaxee Sora was always a bit too long for me, and I always wanted the hump just a bit higher, and that's what this shape kind of feels like. It feels for me like a shorter Sora with a higher hump, and this shape might just be my new main. It just feels really good in hand. It has the sides going a bit. It just feels like a really good shape for my hand size, and I think a lot of people will enjoy this shape. I think it's good for people with medium hands and small hands, but let's get into the overall QC. So the QC of this mouse is very good. No side flex, no base wobble with dots. This QC is so much better than the original X2 CrazyLight. My X2 CrazyLight original unit had some QC issues, but this is solid. In terms of coating, it is a rubbery coating, but it's a bit dry. It's not as good as their older coatings, but I'm just assuming they did that to make it lighter. I would say this is a decent, acceptable coating, but it's not as good as the original coating. In terms of clicks, let me just give you a sound test. The clicks are Pulsar opticals. They are decent. They are better implementation than they were in the CrazyLight. I think the Sasanto ones feel a bit better. When I first opened this mouse, it did feel a little crunchy on the click, but then I just spammed it a couple times and the crunch was gone. Never felt it in game. It's not really a problem. I think the click implementation on this mouse is fine. The scroll wheel feels very smooth and buttery. It doesn't feel too smooth and too fast, but it also doesn't really have any like tactileness. It's a pretty decent scroll wheel, and the side clicks as well feel pretty good. But I did have sometimes where my thumb was bumping into them just because this mouse, the side is a little low. I think most people won't have this problem, but I just wanted to mention it. It's not really a big deal. They never actually accidentally pressed. It just was a little uncomfortable sometimes. In terms of the stock skates are actually really good on this mouse. They're nothing like insane, but I think they're solid stock skates that I could recommend using. But the dots in the box, I've got them with 3 mice. They're not good. I don't recommend using them, but these stock skates are fine. In terms of web software, it's the same web software that all the last releases use. It's completely fine. There's nothing much to talk about it. But performance in game, I had no issues. No tracking issues, no LOD issues. It was just completely fine. This is one of the best performing mice I had. And in terms of battery life, this battery life is also much improved from the X2 CrazyLight. The X2 CrazyLight generally only lasted me like 2 days. This lasted me about 4 or 5 days. It's just a significantly better battery life, and I can definitely recommend this if you want something that can last you a few days. In terms of price, this does come in at 130, and overall, do I think this is worth it? Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's a really solid mouse. This is probably going to be my new main, or at least in my main rotation. It's well built. There's no really bad QC issues, and it's just, if you like this shape, it's just a solid choice, and the weight is really nice. So that's pretty much it. If you want it, I'll leave a link down below, and I'm definitely recommending it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.